Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We are here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie and show I watched last week. I didn't watch any shows. Well, that's not true. Mel and I started season 3 of Grey's Anatomy, and I watched a couple episodes of Love Island with her. But yeah, I just watched movies this week. I believe I watched 12 or 13. Let me double check. 12. So let's hop into it. My main theme of the week was supers, which wasn't a great week. It was not a super week. Let me tell you, I watched a lot of Supergirl, Superman, and there were some ups and there were some downs. So let's get into it, starting it off with what is now my least favorite movie of 2026, which is Supergirl. I did not enjoy this movie. For most of this movie, I thought it was just totally okay, pretty bland. It didn't look great. And then I just found this villain was getting on my nerves, was getting really annoying, and for whatever reason, this villain could compete with Supergirl, and that pissed me off too. She was extremely underpowered in this movie, it felt like, and I felt like the script just made anything possible to make it easier for her to not be just destroying this villain, Krem or whatever. Anyways, I really, really didn't enjoy like the last half an hour of this movie. The green sun is something that is just not in comics very often. I didn't even know it existed until this movie, so I did some research about it. It's a very big deep cut in comics, and they're usually artificial green suns. So that was definitely a choice. And again, the just I don't know the what's the word I'm looking for, the nerfing of Supergirl was ridiculous in this movie. It just pissed me off more than anything. So yeah, was my least favorite watch of the week, and not much better than that. But a hot take for what seems to be most people, the 1984 Supergirl, which I actually preferred. Which I have gotten some stray looks when I've said that, but I rank this a 35 out of 100. It's got a charm to it. It's kind of similar in that 80s, that 70s, 80s charm that the Christopher Reeve Superman movie has. Obviously, not to the same extent, and it's nowhere near as good, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. There's some okay moments in it. It's mostly quite random and really weird. Um, but it's not the worst movie I've seen. So let's move on to another theme of the week, which was Robin Hood, because I wanted to go see The Death of Robin Hood today, but I didn't get a chance to. I ended up going to see something else, which we'll talk about at some point. But yeah, I watched a couple of Robin Hood movies this week, and my least favorite is Robin Hood, which was directed by Ridley Scott. That one from 2010. What a cast! That's about it. That's all I've got about it. This was an egregiously long, almost 2.5 hour movie, and it was not very enjoyable, to say the least. So, ranked it a nice 38 out of 100. Not much of an upgrade to those Supergirl movies. Let's keep the train going. Let's move on to a trilogy, which is the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths animated trilogy, which all came out a couple years ago. I had watched the first one, part one, when it came out. Never ended up watching the second and third. These are not great movies, and the my least favorite of them is the second one, which I ranked a 41 out of 100. So obviously not very high. And I honestly can't even tell you anything that happened in this movie. I think there was a scene with the Bat family. I don't know. I found this entire trilogy incredibly hard to follow at times. And for the most part, I didn't find any of it to be very interesting either. So, yeah, the third one, or the second one, sorry, part two, I ranked a 41 out of 100. It's my least favorite of the trilogy. Let's move on to Robin Hood, which is the Disney classic, which I ranked a 45 out of 100. I think I'm coming to learn that I just am not a fan of the original Disney classics. A lot of those movies I just do not enjoy. Snow White, Robin Hood, Dumbo, those movies, for example, Pinocchio as well. Like, I'm just not a fan of these original Disney classics. I do not like them. And similarly to Robin Hood, I thought it was okay at least, but I ranked it a 45 out of 100. So definitely nothing special. Let's move on to Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3, which this one felt like the most random, but also had like the best moment of, or the second best moment of this entire trilogy. I don't know why we had dinosaurs. That was a question I had. I don't know if that's a part of the comic series. Maybe I really don't know anything about this comic series, but that was really weird. I thought the only knowledge I really have about this is the CW Crisis crossover event. So I don't really know much about it from the comics, but um, yeah, I just didn't feel very strongly towards this trilogy. And Supergirl aura farming and taking the entire power of a sun to kill the Anti Monitor, I thought was pretty cool. And again, that moment was one of the best moments in the trilogy, if not the best. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was just a whole lot of fine. Ranked it a 47 out of 100. So let's move on to a spoof movie, which, according to my previous spoof games, not a huge fan of spoof movies, but I actually didn't mind Robin Hood Men in Tights, which I ranked a 55 or 52, sorry, 52 out of 100. I thought it was okay. Most of this movie I just felt completely okay with it. I thought it was totally fine. I did not laugh once. I didn't even really smile once, but I didn't hate anything. It was just totally okay. And there was some creative stuff in it that I guess you can enjoy. I feel like a lot of people do enjoy this. A lot of people enjoy spoofs or parody movies. I personally don't, not very often at least. And this one didn't love it. Ranked it a 52 out of 100. And let's move on to the last of the like 1.5, 2 star, 2.5 stars of the week, which is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, which I ranked a 55 out of 100. I believe I originally ranked this like a 68 or something, 66. So it went down quite a fair amount. I think it's I think it's decent, kind of. I don't know. It's the animation is not great, but I'm a little bit biased towards this one because it is 100% a Flash movie, which I do appreciate. And although it's not the best, I'm really sad how much Barry is sidelined over parts 2 and 3. So I kind of cherish this one a little bit more, but it is what it is. Ranked at a 55 out of 100. Now we start to get into a little bit better. Each movie gets a little bit better from here on out. So let's start it off with how I started the week and my fourth favorite watch of the week, which is Superman from 2025, which I have lowered it back down to a 3 star. I believe when I first watched this, I ranked it a 66 out of 100. Then last year, or the second time, sorry, last year, I showed Mel and I ranked it a 75 out of 100. This third time, back down to a 68 out of 100. So the rating has changed every time, and we're back down to a 3 star. I don't love this movie. There's some pretty damn good moments in it, especially David Cornsweet as Superman or Clark. I think he's really fantastic in it. That's kind of about it. I don't know. This is it's a decent movie. I just don't think it's good, and I don't know if I will ever think that. It doesn't seem like I will so far, but yeah, ranked it a 68 out of 100. So, on to the top three of the week, starting it off with Toy Story 5, which I ranked a 76 out of 100, which is surprisingly my least favorite of this franchise. Lower than Lightyear, lower than Toy Story 1 and 2, and significantly lower than Toy Story 3 and 4. Yes, I have a very unique Toy Story rating. I know that. Um, I think, yeah, that's probably, you probably wouldn't hear that often. I'm going to make a probably a TikTok about that actually at some point this week. So, anyways, Toy Story 5 tackles a very important question of tech and do we need tech and how much is tech useful or should be used, maybe should not be used, that type of stuff. But at the core of this movie, it's really like an interesting movie about girlhood and of course finding and building true connections with other kids or people. And I really enjoyed that. I'm excited to watch it with Mel. We didn't end up seeing it together, so once I get to show Mel, I think she'll be pretty emotional throughout this one. So that'll be an interesting watch for sure. So yeah, I think it's good. Not my favorite movie of the year, but not my least favorite either. It's just outside my top 10, I believe. So let's move on to The Flash 2023, which, yes, I still love this movie. The highs in this movie are far better than the lows in this movie and the bad CGI. And yeah, I still really enjoy this movie. I don't think that's going to change. I really enjoy this movie. Uh, excuse me. There's parts of it that I don't think are as great. Some of the CGI is really, really, really bad, of course, but I'm really used to that because of the CW Flash, which is my favorite TV show. The Flash is my favorite comic book character. He's probably my top three favorite characters of all time as well. So I am a little biased, and I know that, but I love this movie. And again, the highs very much outweigh the lows for me in this movie, and that's just the way that I feel, and that's the way that I've always felt regarding this movie. So, and let's move on to my favorite watch of the week. Very similarly, Man of Steel, which I ranked, of course, a 100 out of 100. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. There's not a single thing about this movie that I do not love. I love everything about this movie. And every once in a while, I think that Spider Man Across the Spider Verse, that score is the best ever made. But every time I listen to this Hans Zimmer score, man, every time I listen to this Man of Steel score, I think it does outweigh Daniel Pemberton's work on Across the Spider Verse, which those two are probably my top two favorite scores of all time. And a big reason why I love Man of Steel is because of how much I love that score. It's fucking fantastic. And yeah, anyways, I think this is one of the best looking DC movies ever as well. I don't understand why people don't like it. It's such a creative take on a biblical god like version of Superman, and I really, really enjoy that. And yeah, that was my week. It was an interesting week. Mostly downs, but a couple of ups. And yeah, I mean it was an interesting week. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.